Perfect. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm good. How you feeling?
Fantastic, brother. Alistair here from the Big L podcast in South Africa. Very nice to meet you, man. How's things going?
Nice to meet you, man. I'm doing all right. I'm feeling good.
Fantastic. If you're ready, bro, we can jump straight into it. We can get your story. I know my phone's been blowing up the whole weekend with a million questions about who you are, how come we don't know about you, and what the deal is.
Awesome, man. Yeah, let's get right into it, brother.
Fantastic, man. So, Phumi Nkuta, South African boy, which has got everybody's attention at the moment, trying to find out how we don't know anything about you. So here we are, man. We got to see you make your professional debut with Bellator over the weekend, which went really well. So just maybe if we can start at the beginning, but just tell us the story of the South African boy that's made it all the way to America.
So, my mom actually came to the States when she was around 19 years old. She graduated with a 4.0 GPA with two kids. Hardworking girl, very humble girl. And I was actually born in New Jersey, and decided to take MMA all the way to the top, man. But even though I was born in America, I still got South African in my blood. So whenever I go out there and compete, of course, I'm gonna flag that flag. I'm gonna fly that flag real high, man.
Fantastic. So have you ever been to South Africa?
Yeah, yeah. I go pretty often.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna be there again this Wednesday. I leave.
Wednesday. Okay, fantastic. So have you got a lot of family out here in South Africa, or what's the deal?
Yeah, yeah. We're basically my side of the family, at least my immediate family, is really the only ones out there. Everyone else is in South Africa.
Okay, fantastic, man. So that's your origin story, South African family. Let's see the martial arts side. How did that all start for you? Where did MMA begin?
Oh man, I so when I was 12 years old, I used to actually be like I was a pro wrestling fan. So I heard of Ken Shamrock and him being a pro wrestler, but I never knew he was a mixed martial artist. So one day I'm just flipping through channels on TV and I see him facing Tito Ortiz, and I'm over here just mind blown, like what is this sport? What is going on? This definitely isn't boxing, you know what I mean? But it's real, you know. And ever since then, man, I was hooked. I saw what Ken Shamrock was doing, and I saw Tito Ortiz and those guys, and where a lot of people saw someone brawling or someone just throwing hands and kind of, I guess, human cockfighting, they would say. I saw something different. I saw a guy trying to use techniques and use certain skills and assets to do something, and another person trying to stop them or use their own skills. And so I really kind of honed in on that, technical martial arts side of it. And that's where I fell in love, man. I never stopped since.
Fantastic. It's quite funny because I think the generation before you will always talk about Bruce Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think you're the first person who's ever mentioned actually being attracted to martial arts, mixed martial arts from pro wrestling. So that's quite a cool one to hear. It's normally always Bruce Lee or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure he motivated me too. But first guy I saw, man, when I saw Ken Shamrock do it, and I was just like, wow, that's something different.
Fantastic. So I think from a South African perspective, I mean, we will get into your thoughts on the rise of Africa at the moment, but one of the big things is everyone sees who you're training with, the gym you're from, and so all of these questions emerge. So yeah, Chris Weidman there in the background, that's pretty sick. So just give us a bit of insight into the gym, the kind of people you're training with, and what sort of role models you have in your gym.
Dude, I gotta say, man, I'm just one of the lucky people in this sport. I mean, how many people can say they're trained by the great Ray Longo?
Sure.
you know, so it's I don't know, man. It's truly humbling when you think about it like that. You have guys like Ray Longo who done such big things in their career. He's not just trained UFC champions, but he's beaten arguably two of the greatest of all time. Matt GSP with Matt Serra, and then Anderson Silva with Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
Have him, man, not just as a trainer, but as someone, who's really just helped me out in life and helped me out as a martial artist. That means the world to me. Of course, you got, soon to be bantamweight champ of the world, Aljamain Sterling, who's constantly in the gym, making sure my techniques are sharp. Also helped me grow as a martial artist, man. And I mean, Ally, Quinta, Chris, Weidman. I mean, all the beasts here on Long Island. You know, we have Marab, this new guy
Sure.
too, who's killing it in the UFC. Having those guys there as role models, man, is it's humbling, but at the same time, it lets you know the kind of work you have ahead of you, the hard work that you have to put in, and then also what's soon to come, man. Because you know, I'm following in the footsteps of those guys, and being on them with their journeys, helping me with my journey for sure.
Beautiful, man. One thing I wanted to ask, obviously, the South African narrative maybe we don't understand the American system for mixed martial arts. What made you choose Bellator? Because it seems generally from where we are, it's either Bellator or UFC. You can go UFC to Bellator, but not really Bellator to UFC. Is that correct? Firstly, and secondly, just what is your thinking? I would guess that the UFC is where you want to go, especially with the kind of gym you come from.
I mean, look, man, I think the most important thing to me isn't exactly where you go to compete, but it's who you are. You know, most importantly, man, I could say I want to be a UFC fighter or a Bellator fighter. First and foremost, I want to be the best pound for pound mixed martial artist in the world, and it doesn't matter where I compete as long as that's the goal. But as far as competing for Bellator, man, I was actually in Japan cornering one of my guys for Ryzen Sasaki. Um, and I got the text from, you know, I guess you could say she's my manager, you know, one of my great friends, Jenny Nadell. She sets up all my fights for me. She helps me out. She sent me a text, man, and said, "Hey, Bellator had a guy fall out. Would you want to take that opportunity in a couple weeks?"
Sure.
And you know, I'm not the say no to an opportunity, man. I train year round so I can show up for times like this. So we accepted the opportunity. It was a one fight deal for Bellator, so I don't have a multi fight contract. So UFC could still be on the line, Bellator could still be on the line. Regardless, pound for pound, number one is the goal.
Fantastic, man. That's what I wanted to ask you. So the flyweight champ of the EFC just competed in Bellator, Jake Hadley from the UK, and he was saying that there's no real flyweight division in Bellator, so it was kind of like a one and done. So that's what I was going to get to. So that's the same for you. It's kind of one and done, and you kind of wait for the next one now.
Yeah, definitely waiting for the next one. But I mean, a lot of people. There were a lot of flyweight fights this past weekend. I think it was my fight. We had a guy who trains out here, Zaru, also had a fight, and there was another flyweight fight on that card. So I don't think they have a flyweight championship. But look, man, if Bellator wants to have a championship or they want to have some sort of a Grand Prix, they're not short of talent at all, man. I
Sure.
wouldn't mind throwing that mix. But yeah, man, they have a lot of flyweight guys who have been in and out of the promotion. They could definitely start their own division if they wanted to.
Okay, fantastic. What I just wanted to ask you, how familiar are you with the South African MMA scene at the moment?
I mean, a little familiar. I know some of the amateur promotions. Like I've seen some of the fighters from the amateur promotions. Um, I watch EFC, you know, so I've known about that one for a very, very, very long time. And that's kind of like the premier South African, you know, mixed martial arts organization out there. So yeah, I've been watching mainly EFC,
Okay,
if anything.
fantastic. Yeah, well, EFC is the benchmark. Was there ever this inclination of hope that you could maybe perhaps fight for the EFC in South Africa one day?
I would love nothing less to compete with Africa, man. Would be like that's you said being pound for pound is the goal. That's another goal of mine is to one day compete in South Africa.
Well, we're trying to get the UFC desperately, but so hopefully those two can align with you there. Have you seen a lot of the African based guys? I mean, there's Francis Ngannou, Kamara Usman, to name a few. I mean, South Africans Don Madge, which is tearing it up. Champion Dolce is also from the Congo, but fights out of South Africa. So, how much of these guys are you watching?
No, man. I mean, I'm a huge fan of all of them, man. And I don't know if you can even look back on some of their Instagram posts. You'll probably see a comment or two from me, you know, just kind of giving them their big ups, you know, and their pride, throwing a little South African emoji in
Sure.
there. Uh, but nah, man, it's definitely a good time to be an African mixed martial artist. You know, I guess it wasn't really as big as Africa mixed martial arts as it is now, man. And to see guys like you were saying, Don Maj and Adesanya and Kamaru Usman, and you got Francis Ngannou, who's definitely gonna be champion at some point. It's kind of like now's the time, man. There's this big wave of these African mixed martial artists who are now just gonna come and take over the game, and to be part of that crew, to be with those guys taking over the game too, would be nothing short of lovely.
Fantastic, man. And just in closing, brother, just firstly, thank you so much for your time. What would your message be to some South African fans that are going to be tuning into this video?
Thank you for your support, guys. You guys, like, honestly, being all the way from the States, we're used to some of the love there, man, but to get the love back home from, the same people who fly the same flag I wear, man, it's nothing short of humbling, nothing short of motivational, and hopefully I can get back in there soon and get a W for you guys back in South Africa.
Fantastic, man. And hopefully we'll see you around if you're in South Africa pretty soon. Come and visit some of our gyms, man. You will be welcome to have you here. Thank you very much for your time, brother. Really appreciate it.
Hey, take care, boss. Have a good one.
Thank you too, man. Ciao, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.